Now, if you notice that I haven't changed shirts, that is because, well, I'm doing a whole bunch of videos tonight and then I'm editing them tomorrow. We are going to go over now the mini reloading bench setup and walkthrough. And this is going to be something that, forgive me for the mess because it's not perfectly cleaned up, but it is what it is. I'm going to walk you through everything on my reloading bench except for some of the clutter stuff where you have the random drawer with all kinds of shit in it that you don't use anymore. So we're going to go through my whole reloading setup now. So minus the iPhone charging plug, this is my reloading setup. It is pretty much what I would consider a micro reloading bench, and this is where all the magic happens on reloading. We're going to go through our press, we're going to go through our die sets, our powder dispensing, and our case prep. Everything is done on this table except for the drying of brass, in which case I use a Forster dehydrator. They call it a brass dryer. So, very first thing we want to get into is case preparation. Hello. We are using the Lyman Case Prep Center, which is awesome because you can clean the primer pockets out, cut the primer pockets open to a uniform size. You can chamfer and deburr as well as clean the neck all in one station, and then put all the brass filings and crap inside there to clean it out. Relatively quiet. I was having issues when I first had it where it was all seized up from shipment. I ended up having to stick a plastic rod through one of the fans in the bottom vent to get it to start moving, but once it did, awesome unit. Now, this is the absolute pinnacle of my reloading bench. This is the Auto Trickler, which is a Bluetooth controlled powder dispenser. A lot of you guys might not have ever seen something like this before. This is accurate to 0.02 of a grain, literally 1 kernel accuracy on H4350. I have your trickler here and your large powder throw up here, and this can dispense powder in roughly about 10 to 15 seconds per cartridge with that accuracy. It's insane. Back here we have something very old school. We've got the Hornady case trimmer, which I don't really use that often unless the cases are at an extended length that I need to trim things down to. Next is the first part of the Area 419 kit that I have. This is our reloading tray. This is a custom one that Area 419 made for the Ohio or Northeast Series Final. Actually has the Ohio flag in it. Even though I'm a proud Pennsylvanian, I love their products. They stand behind them. But this is a nice thick piece of aluminum with standoffs that are rubberized and nice and steady for when you go to reload. Back here are various tools that I might need. We've got our cartridge gauges, just in case I need to set something to SAAMI spec. I've got some bullets here. They're just sitting around because I don't have a place to put them right now. I have my other pack of bullets up top here. We have the Area 419 die block set. This thing is slick. So you have enough space for multiple dies. I have things like your Mighty Armory decapping die, your full-length sizer bushing bump dies for 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor. The bushing themselves for the bushing bump dies have a machined area just for them. I've got a nice tray here for in case I want to like hand deburr, and multiple Allen tools. But The nicest thing I think that Area 419 makes, funny enough, is this funnel kit. This has interchangeable funnels so that you can swap between different calibers. This is a 6.5 funnel adapter. This is a 308 adapter. It has this beautiful machining inside here, in which allows the powder to not get stuck because it's metal, and it has this gigantic hole inside too, so it doesn't get all clogged up while you're trying to dispense. Another piece of Area 419 gear that we have here is this clear top, which makes dispensing from this machine a lot easier. I didn't think it did anything, it was just for looks, but I'm wrong. It is very, very sensitive. A good example is it had powder in it. Now, it had powder in it. We'll see if it goes negative. So we're going to shut that off, turn it back on. That actually re-zeros the scale for empty. Beautiful. Very, very fast. Anyway, I use this funnel right now to cover my trickler. In the back here, we have our primers and our powder. The primers always sit back here. The powder I tend to bring out whenever I'm loading. I have the rest of the powder sitting over here. We've got multiple bottles. I've got about 16 pounds worth. And then we have the coax press, which again is something that I highly advise. If you're just getting into reloading, this is well worth the investment, especially with it having a floating die system. It's the cat's meow. Now up here with my array of stickers, we have all kinds of cleaning crap, as well as some bullets. I've got my 100 grain or 100 gram calibrated weight. Some things you should never, ever, ever have in your reloading bench. And then things like random primers and stuff like that. Down here we have our Frankford Arsenal reloading tool set for small and large rifle primers. This is a hand primer, works wonderfully. We also have a bullet comparator gauges, all kinds of wacky stuff. I also have my Gray Ops CNC brass marker there. Very, very crucial. And over here, we just have random Allen wrench tools and some cleaning patches and stuff like that. Down below, we have our brass tumbler. I have my brass marked in here on once fired versus virgin brass and twice fired. I also have our media separator, which works out really well. So forgive the clutter and the mess, but I wanted to show you that you can reload on a very small table and get everything done. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass constantly taking things in and out, but I don't want people to stop or never get into reloading because they think that they can't. Realistically, if you are planning to compete, especially in something like precision rifle or something like 3-gun, where you might put 1,000, 2,000 rounds, possibly 3,000 rounds through your gun in a single season, all this reloading stuff is going to pay off. The whole setup here, minus the auto trickler, because that was one of the more expensive parts of my investment, you were talking around, I want to say a little bit under $1,000 for everything. Some things I would have skipped, like a good example is something like this hand deburring tool. While it's nice to have just in case something breaks, I would have just saved for the Lyman, since it was only, I think, $75, $100. The auto trickler, that's a different story. That was an expensive investment for me. But other than that, man, get an RCBS Chargemaster if you don't want to throw money away on the auto trickler. I will say the auto trickler, I can drop 100 cartridges worth of powder in about 30 minutes with that accuracy. So is it worth it to you? Probably not. It's worth it to me because I'm a competitive shooter in PRS. My SDs, my standard deviation, is usually around 2 to 3. Extreme spreads are usually like 10 to 15 feet per second. So other than that, hope you guys really like this, and like, subscribe, and click on the little bell icon. Going to try to get more content out here. I'm feeling a little bit better. I was having some issues earlier in early February, late January, which I'm not sure if it was stress or possibly it could have been COVID. I don't know. I seemed to have a lot of the symptoms of it, but feeling better now. I'm going to start getting some content out there and hopefully upload this stuff this week. Other than that, Dirk out.